Everybody makes mistakes, except me. Some of the worst disasters in our history are due to human beings. A typing fault, a design and a communication error, or only a little negligence can make you lose a fortune, not to mention the ecological impact. Here are the 13 most expensive human mistakes ever made in our history. The Ariane 5 explosion due to computer science error. The Ariane 5 rocket was developed to actually replace the Ariane 4. After months of preparation, after several tests were carried out, its maiden flight and its first entry into satellite ended up being a failure. Can you imagine, just after 36.7 seconds after it just lifted off, it got exploded, it shattered. More than $500 million were lost because of a computer science error. So, if you want to avoid these types of mistakes, you better watch this video in here so you can be a good programmer and you avoid losing this huge amount of money. This one is probably the most famous thing lost disaster in our list. The sinking of Titanic. I don't really need to deep dive into it because you all watched the video. But one of the coolest things about it to know is that it only took them 3 years to build this massive, humongous, gigantic, I ran out of words. Big, ship, vessel in merely 3 years. Takes at least 20 years to build a bicycle in my country. Anyway, around 1,500 people were died and something between 7.5 up to $175 million is estimated to be lost due to the crash of this Titanic thing. This one is not about finance, it's about how important human lives are. How many people died? In 1914, somebody called Henry, the most decorated private British soldier of the First World War, found a wounded soldier unarmed in a ditch. But he didn't feel like shooting it. He just ended up being a human, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to shoot somebody in cold blood. But god damn it, that man that his life was spared by a soldier was Hitler, Adolf Hitler. The worst nuclear disaster in the history of the United States of America. In 1978, the 3 Mile Island planet, located in Pennsylvania, was the scene of the worst nuclear disaster in the history of America. The night of March 2018, following a chain of mechanical failures, human being mistakes, and faulty design, the core of reactor number 2 was melted and destroyed, which led to the release of radioactive gases into the environment. This catastrophe was a turning point for the global nuclear industry, and of course the United States had to abandon these constructions. Let's talk about some of the coolest human mistakes and oversized trains. A few inches too much. In 2014, a company in France, in order to accommodate more passengers and just provide them with more space, ordered 341 trains set too wide to be able to pass through French station. Therefore, the company was forced to plan 1,300 docks in an emergency at the cost of $50 million. This one, in my opinion, is the worst thing that can happen. In 2003, the year I was born, a 34-year-old Californian hunter got lost in the forest of San Diego. And he just started to lit a camping fire for help. Now you can obviously guess what happened after this. He quickly lost the control of the fire and started one of the most devastating fires in the history of California. The Cedar Fire, which caused the loss of $1.2 billion, wiped thousands of hectares, destroyed over 2,000 buildings, and caused the death of 15 people. You might say that 15 is not a big number, but dude, it's our planet. $225 million just blown away because of a typographical mistake. A typographical mistake cost a Japanese company called Mizuho Securities $225 million. The brand issued an order mentioning the purchase of 610,000 shares for 1 yen per share, and in fact, in reality, they had the intention of offering a single share around 5,000 euros on Tokyo Stock Exchange. The explosion of Piper Alpha due to a valve. This incident is one of the deadliest accidents in the history of exploitation. This accident happened in the night of 1988, caused by a minor technical incident and a communication error. The explosion killed 167 people, and guess what? $3.4 billion in repair. Drunk oil tanker captain causes ecological disaster in Alaska. Don't be drunk. Never ever. It caused the worst oil spill ever in the terms of damage to our environment. It then carried 180,000 of oil, crude oil, and the accident actually damaged 11 of the 13 tanks, which cost something again, $3.4 billion to clean and repair the environment. The Falklands invasion. Just imagine you're losing a dictatorship. You definitely not, you're just watching YouTube. And that you want to regain the support of your population by creating an immense patriotic impulse. Now imagine a few kilometers away from your coast, there is a very small island with more ships than the human that you once owned before coming under British rule. Imagine that this island is hardly guarded. What do? I would leave. You basically would send troops to invade it, won't you? Thinking that the Great Britain would never bother to intervene. The Falkland War, lost by Argentina, ultimately cost the country something around $900 million and 700 young dead soldiers. This one's as famous as Titanic history. Probably even more famous. What do you think? The Chernobyl disaster and thousands of deaths. You have definitely watched the TV series, I'm not gonna explain too much about it, but if you didn't watch it, I wanna let you know the cause of this disaster. Engineers who were trying to carry out an experiment in the plant. That's it. Lotus Riverside apartment building falls to the side. This is not really an interesting mistake, but it happened anyway, and it's on our list. What should I do? Leave. The accident caused only a death. A Shanghai court sentenced 6 people on trial responsible for the tragedy prison to up to 6 years. Last but not least, I really like it. Russia sells Alaska to US.
Otto, what is the mistake in here? Somebody wanted to sell something.
Here's a mistake. Russia sold the territory to the United States with just $7.2 million. It's not even the price of a house. Confronted with financial, critical and important problems. So they just decided to get rid of this island and give it to the United States. But that land, they had no clue how rich and full of gas and oil it actually is. Oil and gas reserves are worth $200 billion according to the economists. You watched the video up till here, that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? I really appreciate it that you have watched this video up till here. It's the greatest favor that you can do to me. Anyway, please don't like this video and do not subscribe unless you want 18 years of happiness. That's it, my name is Arto, bye.
Big G's, no design on my jacket. Work hard and I'm changing my bracket. Talk tough, we ain't hear that racket. Guys came in, you know how to stack it. Don't take it wrong, but I'ma need my ends though. I got tigers on my chest like Kenzo. Rail came, yeah, he pulling that Benz though. Cows here, man, you know you stay 10 toes. Big dog, man, you know I ain't worried. Bent up, so I'm